Welcome to Boldeck eLearning. In today's video, we will talk about some Excel shortcuts that will make your life easier and help you work more efficiently on Excel. So let's start first with the universal basics that we always use them in many softwares. You can skip this part using timestamps in the description of the video. So the first shortcut is Ctrl S, and we will use this shortcut in order to save our workbook. And if this is the first time that you are saving this workbook, it will save as instead of save. Next, we will talk about copy, cut, and paste. So Ctrl C will copy your data, and then using Ctrl V, we will paste it in the cell, while Ctrl X will cut your data from this cell, and Ctrl V will paste it in this cell. Next is Ctrl Z and Ctrl Y. So let's say that you have inputted some data here, press enter. Now let's say I want to undo that. I will use the Ctrl Z to undo this action, and then Ctrl Y to redo the same action. Now let's go to navigation shortcuts. First, to move around in Excel, we will use the tab and the enter, and these are the easiest buttons to use on your keyboard. So if you're using the tab, you will move to the right, and if you use shift tab, you will move to the left. While if you use the enter, you will move down, and if you use shift enter, you will move back up. Of course, you can use the arrows instead of tab and enter. So let's say you want to move to the last item in this row, in row 10. How to do that using a shortcut? You will press on Control key and then the right arrow, and it will take you to the last item in row 10, or it will take you to the last column in your data. Now let's say that you want to move to the last item in column L. How to do that? You will press on Control and the down arrow, and this will take you to the last item in column L, or it will take you to the last row in your data. Let's talk now about the selection shortcuts. So let's say that you want to select some data in Excel. How to do that? You will press on the shift button, and then you will move using your arrows, and this will select the data that you want. Let's say you want to mass select some data. So we will combine the shift and the control with some arrows. So let's say I want to select this whole data in this row. How to do that? Shift control and the right button. It will select the whole data in this row. So only the columns filled with data will be selected. Let's say I want to select all the rows to the end of my data now. I will use Shift Control and the down key, and it will select the whole rows that are filled with data. Now, what if I want to select the whole table or this whole range? How to do that? Control A will select this whole range. As you can see, this is all filled with data. While if I press another time Control A, it will select the whole worksheet. Now let's say that you want to select this column that we are in right now. How to do that? The whole column, not only the values under this cell. So to do that, we will use the Control space to select the whole column G. As you can see, it selected the whole column, not only the data. And what if I want to select this row, row 7, the whole row 7? I will use Shift and space, and it will select the whole row, row 7. Now let's say I want to add a new column before column H. How to do that? First of all, let's select column H using Control space, and now we will use Control plus to add a column before it. Now let's say I want to delete this new column. We will use the Control minus and it will delete it. Similarly for rows, let's select this row and let's add a new row using Control plus, and we will delete it using Control minus. Let's go now to autofilling shortcuts. Let's start first with the flash fill. So what is flash fill? Let's say I want to take the values from column N and then I will add some text after it. For example, 94 space MPH. Enter. 41 space, and Excel will automatically understand the template that I'm trying to work on. And if I press enter, it will automatically fill column N with the data that I wanted to fill with. But what if I want to do that using a shortcut? So let's first undo what we did using Control Z, and then we will select 94 mph and then Control E, and Excel will automatically flash fill column N. Now let's say that I have a word here, for example, work, and I want to fill all of these cells with this same word. So I will use Control D to fill the selection with the content of the upper cell. Now let's go to some miscellaneous shortcuts. First thing, we will start with the Control 1, and this is a very important shortcut that will save you a lot of time. So Control 1 will take you to format cells window. So we have the number formatting and we have a video here about it, and you can format alignments, fonts, borders, and fills. Okay, next we have the auto sum shortcut. So you can auto sum, for example, the values of this row using alt equal. As you can see, Excel will automatically sum the values of this row. Similarly, we can sum the values of this column, for example, using alt equal, and Excel will automatically sum the values of this column. Next, we have a shortcut to toggle filtering of a table. So for example, we have this range and we need to set some filters. We will select any cell inside of this range and we will press on Ctrl Shift L, and this will apply filtering to our data. So I can select any country that I want. For example, let's deselect them, and then I will select any countries and press OK. As you can see, my data is now filtered. I can remove filtering also using the same shortcut, Ctrl Shift L, and my filtering is gone. Now let's say that I want to transform this range into a table. So how to do that? We will use the shortcut Ctrl T. So if I press Ctrl T, this will open the Create Table window. And we have a video that is linked on the top right corner here for more information about tables. Okay, now let's say that you are inputting some data in a cell. For example, in this in cell P5, you are inputting some data and you want to use multiple lines in the same cell. Well, how to do that? For example, sun. I press enter, it will take me to cell P6, but I want to stay in P5 and add a new line. How to do that? We will use the alt enter, and now I can input new data in my new line. Okay. And now I have 3 lines inside of one cell. As I can see it here in the formula bar, I have sun, moon, if I increase the size of the formula bar, and now I have 3 lines in this cell, in cell P5. So finally, let's talk about timestamping your sheet. Well, how to do that using shortcuts? We will use the Control semicolon to add a date, and we will use the Control Shift semicolon to add a time. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please press the like button. If you are using any shortcuts that we did not talk about in this video, please let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comments and we will answer them as soon as possible. Thank you and take care.